Welcome back to another video tutorial brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. Today we're going to be dealing with facial proportions. The way I start off drawing a face is I'll draw a circle, and I'll move my hand around several times before actually bringing the pencil down to the surface, and I'll draw several circles. That's going to represent your cranium, the part that holds your brain. Then I'm going to draw a line down from the center of that circle and almost double the size of the circle to create the length of the face. Then I'll draw the lines for the cheeks or jawbone of the face, and for males it's more of an angular line, for females it's more of a softer line, although there are exceptions to every rule. Then I'm going to visually measure down to the middle of that shape that we've created, and this is going to be our eye line. A lot of people make the mistake of putting eyes too far up on the head, somewhere where the forehead needs to be. The eyes are actually in the middle of the head. I'm also going to draw very lightly 5 shapes to represent 5 eyes across the eye line. Of course, you don't have 5 eyes on the line, but it helps you, 5 eyes across your head, but it does help you get the place where the eyes are going to be more accurate. Then I'm going to quickly draw the eyes in here. I would suggest you watch the video on how to draw eyes. It will show you step by step. In this case, I'm going to just draw it very quickly so you get the idea of where they are. Remember, this video is about proportions and not necessarily about creating a finished face drawing or a portrait. So we've got the right eye, and there's the left eye. Just to go back a little bit, you'll notice that the shape of the head I created is not an egg. It's also not an oval, but it's its own unique shape. That's why it's important to go through those steps of drawing a circle and the other steps that you saw. Next, I'm going to figure out where the nose line is, and conveniently the nose line is halfway between the eye line and the bottom of the chin. This is going to tell us where the nose ends. The bottom of the nose is going to be. Also, conveniently, the inside corners of your eyes kind of match up with the edges of your nose. So it'll give you a good idea where that nose is going to fit on the face, and there we are. Now I'm going to draw 4 lines to indicate the nose and put a little bit of shadowing with there. Again, I would suggest you watch the video on drawing noses in order to go through the step-by-step process of drawing them. Those videos are a little bit longer, and they go a little bit more in depth in how to draw these different facial features. There again, this is about facial proportions, not necessarily about portrait drawing. So there we are. We're going to have the light source coming from the right side, a little bit of shadow on the left side of the face. And I forgot to put the eyebrows, so I'll go back in and draw a little bit of the eyebrows in there so we look like we're drawing a human and not so much an alien type figure. Alright. Next, we're going to figure out where the nose is, and you're going to see a trend here. The eye line is in the middle of the face, and the nose line is in the middle of the eye line and the chin line. Well, the mouth, conveniently enough, is in the middle of the nose line and the bottom of the chin. It's actually just a little bit slightly higher than that, but it's a good idea to kind of keep in mind that it's about in the middle. And conveniently as well, the mouth is about as wide as where your pupils are. So you can see I'm making these marks down, and this is where your mouth is going to sit. And I'm going to quickly add that mouth on there. And again, I would suggest that you watch the video on mouth drawing to go through this process step by step. Now, some mouths are a little wider than this, and some mouths are a little bit smaller than this. So this is just a generalization. It's not necessarily the rule, but a good place to start. I'm going to make that top lip a little darker because the light source is usually coming from above. Put a little bit of an indication of a little dimple under the nose. I like to call that the mustache holder. And a little bit of shadowing on the left side of the face just to help us a little bit understand the form that we're looking at. And again, I'm doing this very quickly. Alright, next are the ears, and conveniently enough, the ears fall in between the eye line and the nose line. So if you take your fingers and kind of run around the side of your head, from the corner of your eye, you'll run into the top of your ear. If you do the same thing with the bottom of your nose, you'll run into the bottom of your ear. So this is where your ears are going to be. Now, of course, some people's ears are a little larger and go outside that range, and some people's ears are a little bit smaller, but generally this is a good place to start. And again, I would suggest you watch the video on drawing ears to get a detailed explanation of how to draw the ears. In this case, I'm just drawing the ears quickly and making sure they're in the right place. After I've got the ears on there, I'm going to darken up the edges of the face a little bit so they're a little bit more clear before we go to the next step. The next step is going to be the draw of the neck, actually, and your neck actually matches up with the bottom part of your ears. Ladies' necks are generally a little bit smaller, and masculine necks are a little bit thicker, but they all start from the bottom of the ear. So we're going to kind of make our neck come down from the ears, and the figure I'm drawing could really actually be a male or a female at this point. So it's somewhere in the middle. I'm going to add a little bit of value on one side of the neck to indicate the shadowed side, just to give us a little indication of form. Alright, now with the hair, your hair actually comes off of your head a little bit. So one mistake a lot of students make is they draw the head right directly on top of the head, and it actually comes off. So we're going to start making an outline of the outside part of the hair, and we're going to come off the head a little bit. I'm going to make a little bit of a part, and again staying away from the head a little bit, making that outline stay off of the head. Now I'm going to come back on the inside and then draw the inside outline, which is going to indicate the bangs or the inner edge of that hair. Bring it all the way down to in front of the ears. And another common mistake I see a lot of people make is they'll try to draw each individual strand of hair, which is really counterproductive, nor could you probably accomplish that in a lifetime. Instead, it's better to look at the areas that are dark and the areas that are light and draw the shapes that represent them. Generally, as a rule of thumb, it's going to get darker, the value is going to get darker the closer it is to the edge of the face. So that's where we'll start. Right along the edges of the neck, we'll make that hair a little bit darker, and right in front of the forehead, on top of the head, we'll make that a little darker. Another place where the values tend to get darker is in the part of the hair or anywhere the hair curls. So we're going to go back up there in the part of the hair and indicate some shapes of value for that too. Now I'm making these shapes of value and these marks in the direction that the hair grows. So I'm not going against the grain, so to speak, when I'm making these lines. I am thinking about the texture of the hair and the direction that that hair is growing. Anywhere where the hair protrudes out also is a good place to kind of leave alone to kind of create a highlight in that area. So I'm going to leave a little bit of an indication of highlights in some areas. Again, I've made the hair so it could go either way. This could be a male or a female. I'm going to go ahead and bring the neck down a little bit and put a little indication of a shirt down here at the bottom just to kind of finish out our proportions a little bit. Give a little bit of value to that shirt. And there you have it. There's your facial proportions. Remember, eye line's in the middle of the face, nose line is in the middle of the eye line and the chin line, mouth line is in the middle of the nose line and the chin line. Make sure that when you draw your hair, you bring it off your head. Good luck to you in drawing all of your portraits. Hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial.